Okay, it is live now. I'm going to start the webinar.
Okay, good. So thank you, Aditya. Good morning and welcome all. I'm Professor Manoj Kumar, Director CRC at VUG University Center of Excellence, and I will be your host for today's webinar. Before we get started, a few generic guidelines for all the attendees. All the participants' mics are muted and will remain muted for the entire session. And all the participants are requested to ask the questions through the question and answer chat box down below. And panel members will review these questions at the end of the session and answer them for all. And please keep your questions short and precise. The agenda is that today we are joined by the business leaders, experts, and senior management from the ECA Global, and the various other prestigious organizations of India. We are here today to hold a panel discussions uh, on application of artificial intelligence and machine learning in the field of business analytics and its future prospects in the industry. Introduction of the panelists from in-house. The first off, Mr. Rajesh Singh, the campus director, as well as the ECA India CEO, and Mr. Andrew Holloway, the Vice President, University Pathway and Partnership at the Education Center Australia.
Good morning.
Mr. Luciano De Ambrosi, Principal Executive Officers, ECA, PY and Internship. Dr. Saurabhi Chaturvedi, Dean and Professor, Faculty of Management Studies, Ganpat University. And from industry, we are having Mr. Yogendra Singh, the CIO, Head IT and SAP International and Domestic Business, Barista Coffee Company. Mr. Yogendra Singh carries with him more than 15 years of rich experience in the project management, SAP techno functions, data center management, vendor management, infrastructure management, IT security management, and team management. And the honors and awards is concerned. So he defenders 100 CXO Tech Excellence Awards 2020, Digital Transformation Leaders Award again 2020, Eminent CIO of India 2020, Innovation Heroes 2020, Innovative CIO Awards 2020, and Tech is Super CIO Awards 2020 and Global Superhero CIO 2020. These are the few, but he has more and more accolades. And then Mr. Rajiv Mittal. So please welcome to Rajiv, CIO Endurance Technology Limited. Mr. Rajiv is an IT professional with a vast experience to head IT departments of manufacturing organizations and has been the instrumental making business IT enabled and leading the IT digital autonomous in the organizations. Automations in the organization. He is currently CIO of the Endurance Technology Limited. In past, worked in the Piaggio Vehicles, Tata Groups, and Vedanta Groups. So thanks, Mr. Rajiv, for joining us and sparing your valuable time. And surely we will look forward to have your kind insights. Then Mr. Srinivas Rao DP. Mr. Srinivas Rao has done his BTech from Nagarjuna University, ME from Indian Institute of Science, and a PG diploma in strategic management from IIMS Calcutta. Started as a scientist in DRDO, worked on a prestigious indigenous aeronautical projects on the fighter aircrafts, combat helicopters, and taken by the government of India during 1990s. Later, he moved to the application software development and worked as a technical lead, enterprise architect, project and delivery manager roles with the Tata Consultancy Services, TCS, on the multiple assignments. Later joined a technology startup as a technology director with the instrumental in bringing out the many market-winning software products in the education sector's domain. Then told Get Management, the GPS tracking systems, currently working for entity data as a delivery executives and senior directors and taking care of the sub-vertical delivery as well. So then Mr. Vijay Shah, and as we discussed, is the veteran of the SAP, having more than 33 years of the experience in a corporates on a different sectors. So these are the in few introduction, in a brief introduction of our esteemed industry panelists. And we are fortunate enough that we're having such an outstanding August personality, and they will discuss and share with us their takeaway in terms of the analytics and artificial intelligence and machine learning in the business analytics and all that. So over to Rajesh ji.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, panelists, and good morning, attendees. Thank you very much, Manoj ji, for organizing this wonderful webinar. And this is really a great platform and for platform for all the students and parents as well, because AI and machine learning, these are the latest technologies, and industries is also struggling to get good manpower in these fields, and these are the fields where industry uses these technologies to grow more, and there are opportunities for the students uh, to study these technologies and get wonderful career. So I will start with the introduction of Education Center of Australia. Me, yes, please share the presentation. So Education Center of Australia, next slide please. So Education Center of Australia started by Rupesh Singh. He's the CEO of ECA Group, and he's my younger brother. He's based out of Sydney, and he went to Australia in 1998 as a student, and he had some struggle there, and then he completed his masters and started IT company. He started with Global IT, GITT company, globalit.com.au, and he has done good job in IT business for 2 3 years, and he was quite successful in uh, IT business also. Then he wanted to help the student. He wanted to do something big in education sector, so he started his business in education and started from English language school, then Zenith Business Academy, then he partnered with Victoria University. So the main purpose was starting education because he observed that there is a huge requirement of education, and there are many students who come from developing countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Vietnam, Indonesia, and they struggle in Australia. So what he did there in Australia, he started helping overseas students in getting part-time job in developing them as to get successful professionally. So we have professional development department there, student services department there. Uh, we have a team of student services who help students to get part-time job, to get uh, we develop them professionally so that they cope up with the education what we are delivering there, because overseas students, international students, initially they do not understand the culture. There is a big difference in the culture. So we help a student, international student, to understand the culture, to start their career in Australia comfortably. Next slide, please. Moving. So this is ECA presence. You can see our presence in India, Australia. Australia, we have campuses in Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. Philippines, China, Brazil, Europe. We have offices. So now we are coming up with campuses in UK also, and we are planning to come up with campuses in other countries also. Our recent partnership with the London Metropolitan University in UK. So we'll be having campus in UK also. You will see ECA growing globally. Next slide, please. So here we have, you can see the colleges and university partnership campuses we have in Australia and in India as well. So we are having Victoria University Sydney campus in Sydney in partnership with Victoria University. We are running this campus last 11 years. So our recent partnership is with Swinburne University. We are running Swinburne Sydney campus. In India, in collaboration with Victoria University and Ganpati University, we are running Masters of Business ERP and Masters of Business Analytics, two courses. In India, students they get Victoria University Award and Ganpati University Award uh, here in India. We recently we acquired IT Masters. It's a Charles Stewart University online platform. We have acquired that, and uh, those who want to do IT courses online, that is available for students globally. So we have few colleges. You can see here APIC, CHS, Heli, ECA Professional Year, ECA Internship, LSIS, ECA College, ACCLF. These are our colleges based out of Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. So you can see last 15, 16 years, ECA is growing like anything, and we have many colleges and university managed university campuses in Australia. So now we are planning to bring good quality global education to India, and that's why we started this program, Masters of Business Analytics and Master of Business ERP in India in collaboration with Ganpati University and Victoria University. We want to give global education, quality education to Indian students, and that is at affordable cost. That's the purpose of bringing Victoria University to India. Aditya, next slide, please. So recently we started online uh, IT masters. We have acquired from Charles Stewart University. So IT related online courses, those are available online. APIC is our college, Master of Business and Project Management, that is also available online. We are launching MBA from London Metropolitan University in India also. In fact, we are launching it globally. And for India, we have a very affordable price. So uh, this is a great opportunity for Indian students to to grab this opportunity and take global education here in India only. So online is a big thing now. You can see the scenario. Adit, next slide. Right. So why Victoria University is in India? It was a dream of Rupesh Singh to bring quality education for Indian student, middle class student, those who are not getting opportunity to study with IIM or ISB or big brand colleges and universities in India, those who do not get admission. So here what we have done, Victoria University is top 2% universities in the world, and the quality of education is really very good. So we selected technical courses which are really and highly in demand by the industries like business analytics, ERP, and we will be coming up with more such courses which will be helpful for the student as well as industries also. So that was the dream of Rupesh, and it all started in 2010. And Victoria University team and ECA team came to India, and they met. That time, Narendra Modi was the chief minister of Gujarat, and he was very happy to support this project. And it all started in 2010, and now we are doing great job for Indian students. And industries are also happy because they are getting good quality student from us. I think next slide is for Andrew. I am covering more slides,
Okay.
Manojji.
Yeah,
Sorry, Andrew.
thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
And
you, thank you, Rajesh ji. And the significant strides that the ECA has made in the past decade with the students' welfare and the development being the core values. And it is fair to say that we have been able to make our presence felt in the industry on a global scale with the global scale. And so therefore, and we would like to invite Mr. Andrew Holway for having his insights on Victoria University.
Thank you, Manoj Ji. I'm joining you from Perth in Western Australia, so I'm a long way away from most of you. And on the other side of Australia, where they're playing a cricket match, I think, in Brisbane. And then it's unfortunately rained off at the moment, so I've got plenty of time to spend on this side here. So basically the centre, it's important to note the centre is actually a joint collaboration between Victoria University, which is a public university in Australia based in the city of Melbourne in the state of Victoria, with a partner from India, Gunpat University. And this relationship has now been going on for nearly a decade. When we first launched a pilot program back in 2010, our relationship between ECA and Victoria University is actually now in its well and truly into its second decade. So it's a long-standing relationship, whereby, as Rajesh Ji mentioned, we are actually running a campus for our Victoria University partner in Sydney, where we have 2,500 international students at that campus. Now in India, we started, as I said, a pilot program back in 2010 with a Masters of Enterprise Resource Planning Systems. We then relaunched it 2 years ago, 2017, with a batch then that was taking Master of Business Analytics or a Master of Business and ERP Systems. The important point is that what this offering provides is a world-class, Australian world-class degree in India, not by itself, in partnership with a recognized Indian university. So the students are studying for 2 degrees, one from Australia and one from India. And that gives them the best of both worlds, that they have qualifications that will take them through many opportunities, both in the private sector and the public sector. And also, we know from past experience, the students have done very well in this course. In the last 2 batches, it's my pleasure to inform you that the pass rate of our students in studying the VU Master's degree in India is higher actually than the students studying in Australia or any other offshore program in China, Malaysia, or Singapore, where the VU runs its degrees in different countries. That's because we have a very good program, we have very good staff, and we are also able to recruit very good students. And the important difference that we're trying to make in this program, which my colleague Luciano and Manoj Ji will refer to, is that we're providing extra support for students to give them opportunities for internships, to get that industry experience and exposure, and also to get them in their second degree, not just a specialist degree in business analytics, but also the wider degree in management studies. Because you have to realize as students, as graduates, you may start as a specialist engineer or a specialist accountant or a specialist business analytics, but in 20 years' time, your career can broaden out into management, to running your own business, or working at a high level in a company. So we have to provide you with that range of opportunities to position you for the future. When we just next slide, and then I'll pass on, I think, to Luciano. I'm trying to stick to 5 minutes here. So I'll rely on my colleague, Dr. Shobi, to talk about Gunpat University, because she's the Dean of the Management School there. But a little bit about Victoria University. So as I mentioned, based in Australia, it's a public university. It actually has, its history goes back over 100 years as a technical institute, particularly in IT and engineering. That's been its main strengths. As a university, it's relatively young. It's less than 50 years old as a university. But you can see from this range of rankings that it's already in the top 2% of universities in the world under ranking systems like Times, Higher Education from the UK. And in the Shanghai rankings, which are more research-based, you can see in the subjects like computer science, engineering, and technology, it rates around about in the top 150 universities in the world. That actually puts it in the top 1% of the universities in those subject areas. So you are finding that as a relatively young university, but well-placed internationally, you then have the opportunity of being associated with the university with top-class academic staff, top-class courses, and with Gunpat University, a top-class partner that we have in India. So I'm not going to go much further than that. I mean, we really want to give you the opportunity to hear from the industry presenters, but I'd like to maybe give an opportunity for my colleague Luciano to talk about the extras that we provide through ECA and our university partnerships to prepare students for their place in industry and the workplace through internships and professional development. So Manoj, I think I'll stop there and then give Luciano a chance to talk for a few minutes. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Andrew. And it is certainly a quite achievement to receive the endorsement from, say, Narendra Modi ji himself for the project and have such an impact in the education and industrial sector of the country in such a short span of time. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Saurabhi Chaturvedi described about the Ganpat University with Victoria University. Over to Dr. Saurabhi ji.
Good morning, all. I hope it's the morning for the people in India, and maybe if students around the globe has joined. So hello for the others. Thank you, Manoj ji, for giving this opportunity so that we can interact, come close to the students who are interested to take up education in the field of analytics, ERP, and maybe project management as such. Because in India, if we talk about the partnership of Ganpat University, ECA, and Victoria University, we have these three courses to offer. Before we go further about the courses and other things, let me quickly brief you about Ganpat University. Ganpat University has been established by Gujarat Act number 19. So it is the state university which established under the Gujarat State Act in the year 2005. So we have almost completed 20 years, and we have been adding up a lot of industry focused programs. If we talk about engineering, management, science, pharmacy, so we are fortunate to have all the courses running under the flagship of Ganpat University. I am Dean Faculty of Management Studies, so my focus would be largely to the management programs over here. We are UGC approved university. Also, we are a permanent member of Association of Indian University. We are also a life member of Association of Commonwealth University and International Association of University. Almost since 2005, there are more than 2 lakh students who have been, more than 22,000 students who have been graduated. We have courses till the PhD program. Even there are 2 schools which are hosted in the Ganpat University campus. So it is a holistic education provider with the main mission of uplifting the education in the society. So it has been established with this main mission. And our patron in chief and president, Ganpat I. Patel, now he has been conferred the honorary doctorate degree by Cal Poly Pomona University, Australia, California, USA. So we are fortunate now to have, his a sister kind of a tie-up with that university, which is Cal Poly Pomona University, USA. So we are looking forward for more international programs at Ganpat University. But the first pioneer program we had with Victoria University and ECA. And we are fortunate that this partnership has been now a decade long. And we look forward for more programs under this partnership. Currently, if we say we have 2 kind of program, one is the PGDA program, where the student has an option of taking the PGDA for a year and with an exit option. But it is always good that you continue the degree, the management degree, complete it for the 2 years, and then you are a complete management graduate. So these 2 options we have currently with this tie-up. Can we have the next slide? To talk more about Ganpat University rankings, ratings, and accreditation. So we will be going in the NAC for the first year. We are the GSIRF. If we talk about the Gujarat state ranking, we are a 4-star ranked university with specifically 5-star ranks. If you talk about ranking, if people understand about the rankings, then we have got the 5-star ranking under the GSIRF in the teaching and learning, in the outreach, that is the variety of students coming in the university, the diversity which we are handling, and also the graduation outcomes, the number of students graduating every year. So these are the 3 important parameters on which we have scored 5, along with a 4-star ranking in the Gujarat. So we are very well known presence in Gujarat, as well as now we are emphasizing on more diversity and pan-India presence. So these are the few achievements, accolades that you can see. We have been awarded twice for the excellence in placement activity in the year 2018 as well as 2019 by the Education Department of Government of Gujarat. Also by SOCHM in the year 2018 and 19 for the best university. India Today also awarded with the best private university. Along with that, recently we have received an award for the startup program, which this year we have started as an MBA startup and entrepreneurship. So we offer a variety of programs in the management domain, but we are having a proud partnership with ECA and Victoria University, Australia. So that's all from my side. We all are available to you for any other queries. Thank you. Thank you, Manojji. Over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Sorbiji, for appraising us about the Association of Ganpat University and Victoria University. Thank you very much for joining us. So now I would like to invite Mr. Luciano to shed the light on the various projects and operations of the ECA professional years and internship. Over to Luciano.
Thank you very much. If we could go to the next slide, please. So, first of all, it's a pleasure to be here. I'd like to, acknowledge my fellow panelists, Rajesh Ji, Professor Manoj, and also extend a very warm welcome to our esteemed industry representatives today on such a wonderful occasion. So I'll give a bit of an overview about an area that I'm very passionate about, which is industry placements, internship. So I'm involved in running a program called the Professional Year. It's basically been running for 10 years in Australia. It's one of the first of its type in Australia, and it's essentially a employability finishing school that runs for a year, that prepares graduates and links up a good number of graduates with a paid employment opportunity with as many as 500 plus host companies that we've got, principally in the area of IT. So proven success is the fact that we've had about 7,500 students come through our program. We're very proud that the employment outcomes that are touched on there, it's not just finding an internship for our students, but we measure our success by the proportion of students that not only do an internship as the stage to demonstrate what their skills and attributes are, but we also are very proud that 50% of people that do internship placements end up with paid employment with our host companies. And we've got a mix of startup, medium, but also some large names as well among our ranks. And we're very proud that over the last few months, we're forming more and more of a collaboration with the fine people of Guni, the VU Guni Institute, Ganpat University, so that we are more and more building this wonderful database of not just Australian companies, but Indian companies. So students will increasingly have a choice across our two economies of what sort of a internship experience they would like to choose. And part of what our service is we match up what a student wants from their internship experience and what they want from their career with what industry wants. So basically, we will match up the two very important stakeholders so that there is a wonderful experience that comes from that. Our free workshops to that end are geared very much to focusing on soft skills and some of the specific areas that we know industry expects and demands from students and from graduates. So we know that occasionally there is a bridge between students that come out of the university system and what industry expects from their brightest and the best graduates. And we aim to very much build a bridge so that the students that arrive for jobs are contributing from a very early stage of their placement. And I think there's one more slide. Yeah, so 5 reasons to get an ECA internship. So look, Australia is a great choice. We've built up this wonderful, I suppose, foundation of host companies of many different scales and breadth and ranging from in IT field. Obviously, there is great agility expected of students, and what we're finding is the IT field and the fact that there's a lot of small micro companies that are launching in this area. Oftentimes at the early stages of their setup, budget is an issue. So in matching interns to the requirements of a small IT company is ideal, because you're allowing the student to display their wares, and oftentimes, and it's obviously very cost effective for the company, and oftentimes that company, having seen what the student can do, will basically offer that student a job and they can start their career. So it's a wonderful system. It's a classic win-win situation that the student gets a lot out of it, the company gets a lot out of it, and we're very, very focused on delivering, wonderful outcomes, not just for our companies but also for our students. I just wanted to give you an overview of our internship system. I wanted to touch on the fact that we are doing more and more collaborative projects and processes with the fine people on this panel, including Professor Manoj and his wonderful team. And we really look forward to offering, industry and also students a real breadth of choice across not just Australian, but Indian host companies. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Luciano. ECA has certainly made homogeneous stride in creating a diligent workforce that has on-the-job skills and are certainly ready to offer the productive outcomes of any employer from the day they graduates. So I would like to take the moment to thanks to all the senior management of the ECA being present here and today to meet the industry experts for the further contribute to the cause. This is the Corporate Resource Center. I am heading as a director of this department, and the objective is that this department's basic functions, we can say, is that to have the industry connect and to leverage in both the way and all that, right? So here we're having the students, those who are doing the Masters of Business Analytics and Masters of Business ERP, that is on the SAP platform. And the university is also having the View SAP University Alliance. So they are getting the 6 View SAP Alliance certification in a different modules like the FICO, then SD, PP, MM, then BI, BW. These are the things. And apart from that, the students are also being taught on the relevant some other tools like the advanced Excel, the Tableau, the R programming, the Python, so and so forth, right? So that they would be competent and to meet the needs of the industry can pursue their careers in terms of the business analytics and business ERP as well. So CRC is organizing the different sort of activities and to making the industry aware that what we are doing, and also uh, uh, obtaining the certain industry inputs, and so that the students from the day one and would be developed and end of the day they will meet the exigencies of the industry as a whole. Hello, there is noise and perhaps. Are you getting my voice? आवाज आ रही
Yes,
है मेरी?
Manoj ji, you are audible.
Okay, okay, okay. And so we have done so many seminars, and now it is the time of the webinar, because everything is on digital mode, because the coronavirus pandemic and has changed all the systems, and the technology become the bloodstream of every individuals, even, and professionals. Yes, they were using, and earlier also the video conferencing system, but now it has become the necessity and all that, right? And we have also conducted the brainstorming sessions, and the corporate advisory board we have also formed, and where the companies and the CEOs and MD and the directors of the companies of reputes, like the TCS, like the SCL, like Accentures, like Moody's, ICRA, then Intech, then US Global, then PwC, KPMG, and all the big that comes under the Fortune 500 or the Big Four, we can say, and they are the member of our corporate academia advisory boards, and they have also contributed in terms of webinar and brainstorming sessions. So we are really very honored to have you as a esteemed panelist, and we'll also look forward to have the sound association with the industry academia. And so therefore, now, because we are time is running very fast, and so main the deliberation is still awaited. So I would like to request to Mr. Srinivas Rao, because he has started his career from a scientist in DRDO, and it is again, that was the governmental organization. Now he's in a private sectors. There is a huge differences between public and privates, isn't it? And they have the very technical backgrounds. So so let's start to have the inputs from Srinivasanji. Then we will move ahead from each and every our esteemed panelist. Yeah, over to you, Srinivasanji.
Thank you, Manoj. Thank you, Manoj, for this opportunity. Thank you, rest of the panels and colleagues here. In fact, it's indeed very great pleasure to understand the kind of initiatives what we GNU is taking, and the kind of bridge what you are building between students and industry. And in fact, that brings me to the current topic as well. I think the appropriateness of the topic for the current industry demand is definitely is very relevant. Okay, because right now, as you could see, the kind of real disruption is another new disruption in technology is going on. Like, as per some people, this disruption is comparable to something like inventing fire in the days of, when early people, to the level of, finding steam engine, in latest generations, to the, invention of electricity in, very recent past. So this is a kind of, disruption, or this is a kind of, new technology or new way of using technology is getting into our lives actually. So that's where this artificial intelligence and machine learning, even though the fundamentals of that are not really new, which are there for the past maybe at least half century to century, with same mathematics and same kind of neural networks fundamentals. But the kind of traction what it has got now in the last couple of years is phenomenal. That could be attributed because of a lot of changes in a lot of improvements in computation power, in ability to handle data, in ability to harness different kinds of data sources, put them together, and then on top of that, running all these different algorithms to mimic a human mind. So this is definitely a kind of disruption going on. And in fact, this brings me to one, some fears expressed a lot of people in the industry, saying that no, would this, go to a logical level where it would replace human brain and our people? But at the same time, in fact, now I'd like to bring some of my own experience in this area. If I go back to early 90s when I was, working as a scientist, young scientist in DRDO, that time I think all my colleagues, used to be senior engineers and with little knowledge on computers. Seniors as a lot of colleagues. So that time, when we were introducing computers in our regular day-to-day work, and especially, then scientists, it used to be like all our secretarial staff and an admin staff who used to be worried, like saying that would this going to take away their, job? So that, and they basically glorified typists, and in fact, they used to feel, sir, you are bringing computer, and is it going to take away my job after the only 5 to 10 years? That's the time, in fact, we are trying to, comprehend, we're trying to explain them, saying that, the job what computer does is definitely very different from what you are. And end of the day, you as a human being is definitely required. So that was the kind of message what we are passing as engineers at the age of 21, 22. And again, at the age of this 50, again, I think probably I may need to pass the same message to my younger generations about this disruption of artificial intelligence. Yeah, here as you could see, I think the kind of developments are, or if you look at business perspective, like yesterday you have seen TCS and you have seen HCL and Infosys, a lot of these companies announcing their results, and you could see in last quarter they have seen almost 20% jump with respect to margin and with respect to new projects what they've bagged. All these new projects, all these new businesses coming from this new disruptive area of cloud enablement, big data, or machine learning or AI kind of stuff. So that clearly shows the traction what industry is having and the kind of acceptability the industry is getting into this kind of science. Getting into a little more technical details, like as you see right now, it used to be like for about when we were getting educated in late 80s 90s. So that time it used to be like in neural networks, the same subject was there, but the challenge used to be like computing, like the power of computing. It was very difficult for us to really mimic a human decision process or a kind of computer vision process where your neural network could identify and decipher some kind of a conclusion out of any image or any data or something like that. From there, the other challenges were like there used to be a big challenge with respect to huge data management and kind of different data, ability to mix match and count it or drill down to that. All these used to be challenges which about 25 years ago. And in fact, I myself is a kind of testimony to see the kind of growth which has gone through over the last 2 decades or 2.5 decades in this field. Like, whatever we thought impossible at some point in the beginning of careers are now, I think, pretty simple and pretty, a regular day of the life. So that's so coming to business analytics. Is, as you know, each business is basically run by corporate heuristics and experienced seasoned management. Why these experience senior management are required at senior levels of corporates are typically is to have feel, because the kind of experience what they got in the industry will generate a feel for them, would basically enable them to take decision much faster and an ability to interpret and correlate different dots and come out with a conclusion. So what else? What happens if that is replaced by a computer? So that's exactly happening now. So with the kind of advancement, like starting from rule engines to the level of computers, getting to the level of understanding even empathy and getting into applying business science, business logic as based on the requirement is throwing huge opportunity. And in fact, many use cases are there, which probably I would like to because I already taken enough time. Probably I'll leave it to other panels. And definitely there are a lot of use cases felt in the business related to insurance or banking or healthcare or maybe manufacturing or you name it, any area, or even entertainment, or even for that matter art of painting, art of this where genome genetics, all these areas, different areas, we just can't imagine the kind of application each of these new technologies on artificial intelligence, not new technology, I can say new implementation of AI and ML is having, and a lot of good products already services are already into market, like with the DeepMind and a lot of other small products and softwares. Okay, with that, probably I'd like to take a pause here, and so that my other panelists can continue here. Basically, I was trying to give the historical background, like how disruption has contributed and what kind of disruption right now we are going through, and the power of this disruption into our future.
Thank you, Srinavasaji. It's a very insightful content you shared, and which is actually required for the in the technological world and all that, right? So now I would like to invite Rajiv ji to share his thought on the topics. Right. Over to
Yeah,
Rajiv
good
ji.
afternoon. And
Good afternoon.
thank you, Manoj ji, and all other fellow panelists, as well as the audience. So my view about the artificial intelligence and business analytics is this is a game changer. If we talk about anything in the digital world or in business world, this has already taken a good place. So business analytics definitely since past couple of years are doing a fantastic job. Uh, it started from the sales and marketing. You see, the marketing is always the first uh, to capture the customers and the customers' need and choices. So I think that today everybody is a smartphone user. So the BI, business intelligence or business analytics, along with the AI and machine learning, are playing a game-changing role in this area. And we all are witness to this. As far as the businesses are concerned, so apart from the e-commerce companies, everywhere, so like Mr. Rao said, that insurance, banking, and other healthcare sector and various other sectors, this is also taking good place. And if I talk about the manufacturing organizations, so the business analytics is definitely a very, it's playing a very important role from the health monitoring of the business from different aspects, different dimensions, understanding what is going right, what is going wrong, what could be the predictiveness in the work, whether it's a shop floor, whether it's a sales area or purchase area or finance area or logistic area or supply chain area. I say there are huge cases everywhere, and industries are exploring and exploiting this technology in good way. Fortunately, there are plenty of knowledge available in the marketplace. Uh, IT companies are supporting very well in this area. Uh, Skill sets are available. Universities like you are playing very important role, giving education to the people, to the youngsters, and they are available in the marketplace. And the new field emerged like data scientist and data analytics area. So going forward, I feel this will be further game changer and playing a vital role. Apart from this is very easy to adopt now because there are embedded things available in the marketplace by way of softwares, by way of various tools and the languages. No code or low code kind of scenarios are emerging. So this, I would say that this is really going to be helpful for the industry as a whole. Over to you.
Thank you, Rajiv ji. Uh, it's a wonderful discussion that's going on. No doubt it's a technology driven, but it is the futuristic technology as well, right? So now I would like to request Yogendra. Hello. Yogendra, you are muted. Yogendra, you are muted.
Just hold on. Yeah, am I
Yeah.
audible now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
thanks
Yeah.
to Mr. Manoj and the industry peers to allow me to share my views on AI and ML. But before go ahead with the detailed discussion, I would like to share the primary view from my side that before implementing any AI and ML in any technology, we have to understand business requirement first. Otherwise, the output that we required, basically, it will not come. So again, I would like to share my thought with the youth that we have to understand the business requirement before going live or before implement any solution, because industry is having multiple solutions and everybody is saying that we are having this type of solution with AI and ML. But and many of the concerned person is also aware about that, and industry peers is also aware that we are having multiple solutions for the single requirement. So if we understand that what is the business requirement, then we can finalize the best solution for that. Otherwise, the organizations and the world is going for the digital transformation. Everybody is talking about the digital transformation, but what exactly the digital transformation is, nobody is discussing about that. So my question and my view is very simple, that before implementing any solution in the industry or in business, because business is totally depending on the IT right now, and every business is driven by IT, you can say. So we are playing the very critical role in the industry. So we have to understand what is the correct and what is the wrong. We don't follow any trending solution or trending application to implement in the industry. Maybe in my company or maybe in other companies. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Yogendra, for your nice concern about the importance of business analytics and the industry requirements and all that. Uh, so, again, I would like to ask the panelists that these days, as Srinivasanji said, that the technology disruptions, right? So we see that there is a cases of Nidhi Razdan, right? She had been the journalist of NDTV. She had worked over there for 21 years as a strong association with the NDTV. But she got the mail from Harvard University that she is going to have the offer of associate professor in mass communication departments, right? But when she inquired all these things, then she got to know that she was the victim of the phishing, isn't it? And that was the false message came from the Harvard University, because the people perhaps they have used the AI perhaps and they try to understood and through her social media and networkings or something, that what in which way she thinks and what are her desire and career objectives, right? And that has been hacked, isn't it? So I would like to have the insights of the esteemed panelist on this, that artificial intelligence, no doubt it is good, but in this way and may be misused as well. So what's your takeaway? And please, if you have any sort of experience and information related to like Nidhi Razdan, then please share with us. Yeah.
See, my view about the information. So, of course, from the digital perspective, there is enablement and there are disruptions also. So,
Yeah.
because the coin has two sides. So, any facility or any advancement always comes with some kind of negative side also. So, we can say that information security is also a very, very important aspect, because while in one side the technology is facilitating enablement, it's generating a lot of data, lot of meaningful data for the different use cases, but in the same time it is also creating problem from the privacy and the data security perspective, because the data is the key for any business today.
Yeah.
Anywhere the data is leaked, the business is getting a dent. Whether even if we come to the personal life, also if the data is get leaked, the person like the case you mentioned is a very classic example of this kind of issues and this kind of I mean negative side of the technology enablement. We are hearing continuously various cyber scam or cyber crimes, especially in the financial sector, where this data is stolen, credit card information is getting leaked. So I would say this is a side effect of any technology enablement. So one has to be educated, one has to be careful. So there is a lot of, I would say, a lot of responsibility on business leaders and IT leaders to educate people how to deal with the information. So otherwise, one or other day, everybody is going to be faced some or other kind of challenges. I'm sure we all must have faced one or other kind of challenges from the data security point of view in our life. But the development cannot stop. There's some bad thing is existing, that doesn't mean the development can stop. The development will go on towards the positive side. But we have to be careful handling the situation or handling the information in the correct manner and with the education campaign and with the awareness.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajiv ji. Yeah, Srinivasi, and you're supposed to say. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to add to what Raju Mittal said. Definitely, I think every tool, has both positive and negatives. The same pen, which can write some positive poetry or positive message, can do destructive thing as well, like a knife. See, every technology has same thing. That's where as Yogendra was saying, it's up to us while we're designing and defining the system to define all these outliers, to define the boundaries, decide well what is that required. And the same example of Nidhiras, then I'll give a positive experience, especially for the Australians. Like, Victoria Transport System, VTA in Melbourne. So, in fact, that is automated by our company, Entity Data. So there, we have integrated all these data lakes and a lot of stuff to the extent where if somebody, it's a kind of combo pass travel system. If you can put a combo pass, you can travel either through tram or either through, rail or bus or whatever it is. So there, all this transaction happens through a kind of small hardware pillars or hardware stations which are installed everywhere. So if one of that is not working, in a Facebook, somebody just tags it saying that so and so is not working here. So we have built intelligence on Facebook, which basically checks that and immediately takes that as a kind of proactive ticket, and the maintenance engineer immediately attends that and fixes it. So that's the way positive of consuming the same social media as well as information. That's where it up to us to define and design all these boundaries, so that I think each one which could be used for good could definitely use for bad, and which has to be protected and as well as I think programmed well.
Okay. So now I would like to invite Vijay ji and to say to give your inputs on the topics.
See,
Yeah.
thanks Manojji, Rajeshji, Andrew, and Luciano, and all, Mr. Rao and Rajiv. It's an excellent way to share and express with the students. A couple of example I'll give you. What you said about the Harvard, I faced personally a problem in 2015 for United Nations. I've been invited as one of the guests, and I found it was a fate to call me in Geneva. I was about to book my tickets, but fortunately I cross-checked. So anything come from the cooperative or a big such things, one has to be careful to cross-check, because it's not physical. It is all come from. It was my data picked up by somebody in United Nations is an act and invited with me, my son. So I experienced that in 2015. So one thing I tell you, so long what Rajiv has said is very perfect. ATM when introduced to people counting the notes. Now nobody counts the notes. It's a maturity of technology. There is no fraud nowadays in ATM. The way we change the currency. Same way today tickets and the air tickets and rail tickets. Almost I think is a mature technology across the world. So telecom mostly I think is a mature technology. Now there is no, there is a spice phone or missing phones, but mostly is covered now. I think technology is mature in that. Now come back to the business perspective, as my experience of AI and MI. AI, when I was heading the future group, and we have a 5 lakhs invoices to be reconciled every day, where the AI can help you to reconcile nearly 90 to 93% of accuracy. So you can save huge manpower, but the output is that the vendor get payment in time and the right inventory get booked in the system. So where the AI can help you very large way. So where the momentum task is there, and the highly unstructured data of the invoices and the PO, where unstructured data is. You cannot structurize to tell your supplier to give me invoice in this format. You cannot. What it can build a artificial intelligence to get your ERP system data in your way, because you are controlling your business, not supplier. And the large balance sheet or large corporation, such type of AI is mandatory to speed up the compliance of the SEBI, speed up the compliance of the banking or the NPA or the fraud. You require to work fast. So here I see AI is the biggest advantage of the area. Just I give an example of the incoming invoices and the reconciliation. In banking sector or the government sector, RTO, where the large volume of data is coming inside, where AI can play a vital role. And I have seen success. I have seen success. That's what I'm telling you. Second thing is a large, complex outgoing payment of commission, like the insurance, then the any other commission or credit notes. You require to check multiple data. On that time, AI engine give a correct picture to the line manager, supervisor, manager, or the business heads. So I can see AI where the multiple data to be cross-checked before doing some decision. This is what I am sharing you 2 points in a particularly core ERP section. But out of ERP, I can share you where I can prospect ML. I've seen one of the industry in Ahmedabad. They are manufacturing the printing sachets for the one of the big corporate of edible oil. So they have to run around 14 machines in one shift. But they found due to the ML, why this machine data is not producing the right, or why this machine take longer time to produce one batch. So by doing the machine learning database, we found in the night shift, certain people just run. There is no external disturbance. Then night shift you get more production. This is one of the example. Earlier it was not aware why night shift is not giving more output than the day shift. This is an example of the how machine learning, so many data, so many cut, punch, and print, and the wastage. We have found one of the data in Rajkot that the wastage is controlled by machine learning. So why this particular size of plastic pipes generate the more waste, and particular size of the pipe generate the less wastage outcome material. We fix that problem, and the company, the output is nearly profit is increased by 8%. Another thing I tell you, machine learning, there are the sensors based, the temperature controllers, elevators, energy conservation. I am aware of the Andhra Pradesh AP Genco, Mr. Rao. They have substantially reduced the power droppage and power billing. So they can find out the power consumed, but the power billing is less. So they find out where the power is getting wasted or the power leakage. So there are ample example of the this thing. You can put a ML into an automobile. Then you change the components. Why this component is taking a depreciation? Why this component maintenance life cycle is very lesser than the other components? So such intelligence will come from the machine. Today cars are smart cars. Today the cars are becoming accessible cars for the Viklang, the people who are disabled, because it is find out the way to solve the problem of the disability. So there are ample opportunity in all and every sector. I can tell you in refinery. Refinery you can reduce just a evaporation by 1% or a 0.5% by the smart devices. Your oil bill of the country can be saved a lot. This is the so many sectors I work. So I'm saying the ML is going to be important other than SAP. SAP is mostly remain a commercial part of core processes, But what money will be, or the revenue or the safety will come from the machine, where the machines are running. Automobiles are running 24 by 7. Then the telecom towers, electricity towers, railway towers. So it is a huge infrastructure which can be benefited by everyone. So I have shared what I can share in a time, given time, and I am sure it will be beneficial to my all panelists and my students. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Manoj
Vijayji. And yeah,
Manoj,
Srinivas.
we have two questions.
Uh,
One from
uh,
yes, I suggest you
uh,
take questions and request audience to ask more questions so that our panel members
yeah,
they can
yeah,
take this. Yeah.
yeah. Srinivasji, and you want to say something?
Yeah, I think just to add to a couple of use cases what Mr. Vijay has said, I think there are
Yeah.
some of the experiences which I myself have done. Like it's one of the top four global audit firms, and
Yeah.
in US they used to get more than about 100 million these tax transactions to be audited in a given season. 100 million using our earlier process of SQL and other rule-based engine. It used to take almost 72 hours to process them. So after we brought a kind of learning based, big database system, so we brought it down that 72 hours to something like 10 minutes. And the fraud detection rate has also, accuracy also increased by manifold. I think more than 99% of the frauds they are able to find because the kind of intelligence what is given to the system. And similarly, another industry, car rental industry. So typically, US car rental industry you might be knowing. So there, everything price is decided by the demand. When there is no demand, I think that day they would like to give lesser price, and so that inventory is running. And when there is a demand, they would like to monetize more. And at the same time, they need to know what competitor is also doing. So that's where I think we come out with a model where it takes inputs from this particular company's past history, that heuristics data, and from there it gets into descriptive, and it takes input from the market through different sources from competitors, combines those two, and gives a pricing mechanism to the dealers where they can decide what is the rate at which they can really lend their car on the particular day. So, and another Australia-based supplier, for he basically supplies inventory to a lot of the retail outlets. He was integrating. He procures umbrellas from China, and then he supplies those to entire Australia. So that gentleman, he was asking for to link a weather monitoring system to his procurement system. So we were taking the weather monitoring of next 1 week, taking those inputs and passing it to the input system, and from which he is able to put orders to the procurement system and able to distribute enough stocks to the area where there could be rain in coming week or coming whatever that is. So in fact, when we heard this couple of years ago, I was thinking it may be more of economic interest. But when we see the results, the kind of money what they made, it is phenomenal. I think the report what we are able to give with that the ability for them to procure and keep the umbrellas at a given store, in fact, has given them very good profits. I think these are some of the examples where I've seen exactly where this AI is implemented for the benefit of the industry, and industry was able to make money.
Thank you, Srinivasji, and for having a very elaborative and live examples. Now I'm taking the questions, right? So the questions, uh, uh, Mr. Arth Patel, he said that he would like to have the answers from the esteemed panelists. How AI and ML and BI would give beneficial for business analytics courses, and what are the skills required to adopt it? So this question I would like to refer to Mr. Yogendra. Mr. Yogendra?
Rupesh ji is answering.
योगेंद्र योगेंद्र जी आवाज आ रही है?
Yes, now. So I would share my thought on this, that
Yeah.
for any AI and ML, with the business analytics is most important part, because these are the data driven system. So if we don't have any confirm and the proper data in our system, then we cannot share even not AI and ML can share the complete and the best portfolio by best output. So before leveraging AI and ML, our database should be proper, and that then after that we can get the complete and the positive output.
Okay, so Rajiv ji, and can you have some takeaway on this question?
See, I think the business analytics itself requires a lot of understanding. So this is built on the statistical method and the mathematical method. So from the base understanding perspective, any student or anybody must have this kind of knowledge and understanding, and obviously the various associated language behind it. If so, it depends on which side a person wants to learn. So whether it's at the implementation, the business use cases side, then the learning is requiring different perspective. And if it's a development of the tool, like business analytics tool, for example, the SaaS analytics or SAP analytics or any other tool for that matter, or ClickView or Tableau, so then it requires a different skill set. But the BI, so this is from the business analytics perspective. From the BI point of view, there are various languages. So again, it depends the which side of the person working, whether it's in the product development company or the user side company. If it is a user side company, then whatever the front ending requirement for the learning is important. The business modeling is very, very important to understand. When we talk about BI, it is easy to say, but the development and taking out the meaningful output is a lot of development requirement towards that, and a lot of data building blocks is required. Algorithm has to be corrected. The business modeling has to be corrected, which takes a lot of time. So all these areas has to be learned if somebody wants to pursue their career in this regard.
Good. So now I'm taking the another questions. Just a minute. Mr. Jarnas, he said that he's asking the question. Thanks for sharing. But how this technology delegate the work? It has seen the implementation of this technology takes time, resources, and how we tackle it. So now I would like to have some inputs from Srinivasi.
Yeah, I think basically this he's talking about delegation of this, technology because of the data decision power. See, as I could, as I've shown some of the examples, like in case of audit industry, which was taking 72 hours to process a given set of claims, it has brought to 10 hours, rather 10 minutes, where they can immediately, decipher what are the faulty transactions, and they can immediately audit those transactions and come out. So that's where I think huge whatever that manpower which is required has already come down, and the decision levels have also come down from, because the number of transactions to be audited are very less. So if one small parcel intervention can do that. So that's how because machine is doing good portion of whatever decision processing required and bringing only final level of decision to the people. So the people who are down the line, number of people and number of experts could be reduced, as well as the decision can be taken faster. So that's how this is going to help. And I hope this is what is the question, which probably I answered.
Okay. So, Mr. Yogendra, I would like to add something.
See, it basically depends on the person who is handling the solution, and the situation depends on the business opportunity and business requirement. So it is totally depending on that. For the student, they are not understanding the business things right now. So for that purpose, they have to understand first the business, and then see, before go ahead for any solution, we have to understand that what exactly we have to do. Otherwise, we can't do that anything. And the technically part, the PLC is already discussed about the technically part, that what exactly is required. That's it.
Okay, Rajiv ji, and would you like to add?
See, the use cases are basically depends on what is the volume of work. Obviously, the development takes its own time. It is not that we thought and the next moment it is implemented. Uh, this can be done, but these are very, very robust or established model on the similar use cases which are existing everywhere. So probably those things are basically off the shelf, can be implemented, and the time takes lesser. But in case of uh, larger development, it depends on what is the volume. And then the feasibility study has to be done. Whatever the efforts and the input cost is coming for this kind of automation using these technologies, if it is getting feasible, then the development cycle, then it's a complete implementation cycle. Because the RPI is one classic example for this, robotic process automation. And these are the, which is also embedding all these models in between. So all these things are wrapping around and connecting with each other. So if there is a bulk processing, then if it is taking too much of time in doing the manual thing, definitely there are use cases which can be converted using these kind of technologies. So it depends on the use cases and the need and the requirement and doing the feasibility study and doing the ROI calculation.
Thank you, Rajiv ji. Now I am taking another questions. The question was that uh, uh, how the SAP is leveraging the business analytics domain. So the now question is to Vijay ji.
SAP as a journey, each organization might be a different version of SAP. So depending on SAP, what version, and the SAP recently came with their own AI tools. So student more to learn about the SAP and SAP AI tools. There are automation anywhere, UiPath, there is many other third-party tools are also there. Basically, student has to understand what Rajiv and said, where the volume of data is there, where the AI is a scope. If the entry or the transaction is very less, then the AI is a burden, is a giving hindrance to the management or supervision. But where the data quality and the impacting to the business, there the AI can be a wonderful results. So students should understand SAP process flow, just like you responded. SAP has a core processes are 6 areas, remaining is a supporting areas. In overall around a 27,000 plus sub-function process areas. So one has to take sales and development, sales and distribution. Then in sales and distribution, there may be 5 to 6,000 sub-processes. So the students, what they are learning in the class might be a level 2 or level 3 processes, not the level 5 or level 6 processes. So they have to expand their brain, which area is a complex and where the volume. So that's the way AI can be a scope for the future. These are my submit to students.
Okay, thank you, Vijay ji. Now the questions in behalf of all the student fraternity, right? Because the students are very anxious that the pandemics has happened, everything is going to be changed globally and all that. So what would be the job opportunity or employment opportunity if they are pursuing the masters in business analytics and masters in business ERP and all that? Because you all are the business leaders, the corporate leaders of a domain of analytics and the information technology and all that. So what's your takeaway? What you would like to suggest to the student, and that what sort of a skill they should develop from the day one, and so that they can combat with the hurdles or the adverse situations that has come out through the pandemics. No doubt the pandemics has also come out with a lot of opportunities as well. And so what they should carry out and to build their career in the corporates. So over to Rajiv ji, and then all the
So I
panelists
would
would be
say,
requested.
yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
So I would say the pandemic has definitely bring a lot of opportunities in this in the area of information technology and the digital,
Yeah.
because all the entire survival point during this period with the help of technology, and this is visible to everyone. I would say that whatever the changes we have seen for the adoption of digital and IT,
Yeah.
without driving by the IT people, which is automatically by virtue of this situation, it would have not been done in next 5 years or 10 years, whatever efforts we have put. Because the way the digital environment has been adopted today, it was, I will never, nobody can put a thought about it. So this situation has definitely bring a tremendous advantage, especially in the technology area, because if you see every company is talking about the digital industry 4.0, IIoT, IoT, smart devices. So all these things are very much in place. We are experiencing in our personal uses, we are experiencing in our respective businesses. And this is a talk of each and every board in each and every industry that we have to adopt digital footprint. We have to increase IoT, IIoT, Industry 4.0, connecting things, adopting more digital. So all these things are definitely giving boost in this area and tremendous opportunity for the students, current students, and the new students who will come. So definitely, like data science careers are flourishing, and the tremendous courses and many courses are has come up in the marketplace. Many universities, many institutions have raised and launched these courses. So why these courses are coming? Because there is a demand, there is a requirement. So people are attracted to this. So I would say next decade there would be a good uh, adoption towards that, and there would be good business cases, good use cases, and consumption by IT industry as a whole for this kind of skill set would be high. This is what my thinking is, and I'm very positive towards it.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajiv ji. Now I would like to request Srinivasan ji, please, and to give some inputs on uh, the theme. Yeah.
Yeah, I think whatever we discussed last half an hour to 45 minutes is basically
Yeah.
a broad trend and how things can happen. We're seeing different use cases where we are seeing only end result. But when we really want to advise a youngster or a student on how to really build their career, this whatever we told is a kind of macro picture. And micro wise, they need to be expert on each of or some of the tools which are being used in this entire ecosystem. So that's
Yeah.
where I think they, if they become expert in one tool, that itself, will definitely take them to the next 5 to 10 years of career. Like all these tools like Power BI or ClickView or Tableau, they are R programming, Python programming, data processing, and preparation of data lakes, which is of different data tools, and again all these things are happening in agile environment, all the different CACD tools, Jenkins, etc. And again, as
Yeah.
Raju was mentioning about the front end, like UI development, each of these areas, and again cloud enablement. So AWS implementation, these many areas, you have opportunities. So one need not perplex with what a big picture what we told. I think they should basically start with one of these technologies as their niche area and stick to their basic fundamentals of engineering or any other science, and then become expert in one, so that then once they really get into, and it's the opportunity which will definitely propel them further and groom them into kind of bigger contributions. But to start with, there is no necessity to perplex or disturb. Just go with one of these tools, whatever I said, which will definitely give you a good opportunity in your career.
Okay. Thank you, Srinivasan ji. Now I would like to have the inputs from Yogender.
So basically, for a student, expertization in a single domain or single tool definitely help out to the student to start the career, because if they want to educate in the all the tools and domains, then there is a very difficult situation for them to understand that what exactly they have to start. So my suggestion is they have to follow only single domain or single tool to masterize or to experience in that particular domain to start the career, and definitely they can achieve the goal.
Good. So thanks, Yogendar.
Roji,
Bijaji, always. Yeah, Bijaji, please.
Roji, we have very special and
Yeah,
specific question from
yeah,
Melbourne, and this question is
yeah.
for you. If you see the chat
For
box,
yeah,
this question is for you, and if you see the chat box, Reese Williams is asking one question
yeah.
that can you provide some examples of how VU India is assisting students enter this exciting industry? So can you give some examples so that Reese, because Reese was here for 1 year. Last year he was here as a campus director, and we want to get some update on I think placement and how our students are doing. So I suggest you to update everyone that how our students are doing. Yeah,
Yeah,
please,
yeah.
Roji.
So View India is the forerunner in terms of helping the students to giving them the opportunity in the industry, and so therefore we are inviting to the industry on a different platforms so that they will be get acquainted that what the industry is actually looking for, what skills the industry is searching, and what capability building they should develop and inculcate such a quality so that they would be accepted by the industry, isn't it? Because industry also requires to have the semi-finished product, isn't it? Because the finished product cannot be finished in the classroom, isn't it? That requires to have the workplace, right? So therefore it is being said that the skill cannot be developed in the classroom, it can develop in the workshop, isn't it? So for a students, particularly the analytics or the ERP students, the industry is considered as a workshop, isn't it? There they will have to have the project, and that project they will have to do the works on that project under the guidance of the industry mentor, right? So therefore we have provided all sort of opportunity to the student industry also come forward to take our students, and they are giving the mentoring to them. The most of the students have been aligned with the big four companies and Fortune 500s, and they are doing the internship for last 6 months, because we try to give them the practical exposures, isn't it? Because and every university is having certain course curriculum that has to be complete, because that is the fundamental knowledge of the subject and all that, right? But the practical understanding of that domain or area would be possible only when they would be involved or engaged in the some industry project, isn't it? So therefore industry is offering them the live project opportunities and the intensive opportunity as well. Side by side, they are also studying, no doubt, and because in Ahmedabad there is a one company known as iMark 360. Perhaps you would be aware. This company is getting the best SAP awards for last 6 years, and consecutive last 6 years and all that. So on the in this company, the students are working for a 3 hours every day on a live project, because the classes are continued till 3 o'clock. अभी तो खैर pandemic है, so the physical classes is not taking place, so that is only on the virtual modes. But when the physical classes was taking place, then they used to study at till 3 p.m. in the class in the college, and after that, 4 to 7, they used to work for the industry. Either they used to go to the industry or they are doing it from anywhere and all that, right? And this process is going on. And the best part is that the industry invested their time, deputed some managers to groom them, and they found that some of them are really very worthy for him or and for that organization, and they have been offered the pre-placement opportunity as well, isn't it? So this is the both way, and a student is also getting the practical exposure. Industry is also assessing the capability of the candidate. If they are finding yes, they have been improved, they might be the assets for us, then they are also extending the employment opportunity and getting them on board and all that. So this is happening and all that. And as far as our corporate advisory board members, Vijay ji also is a part of corporate advisory board. He has also taken some students on a permanent role, and he also used to come to the campus or meeting with the student on the virtual modes, giving them some inputs and how they would develop and all that. So mentoring is going on, because I think that this is the novel cause and from the industry perspectives, because ultimately we have to build the nation, and the young professionals is very much required, because I've gone through the data of or report of the NSDC and the World Economic Forum, that by the end of 22 and 2015 2025, there is a huge demand of technical professionals, particularly the business analytics domain. Approximately 130 million man force will be required, isn't it? So there's huge opportunities in this domain, no doubt. And industry is also coming forward to accepting our students and giving them the opportunity of live project and internship. So this is for the risk question of the risk, right? And also, and I would request to our esteemed panelists over here to keep blessing to the student, and also sparing your valuable time and to interact with the students on the digital platform. Abhi to yahi possible hai, and when the campus will be open, then surely would like to have your physical benign presence, and so that you will interact with the student and will get them some input, so that the right professionals will come out and all that. And that is for the noble cause of the society as a whole, right, sir? So this is
Yeah,
my takeaway.
yeah.
Rajesh ji, anything you want
Yeah,
to
we have
ask?
two questions, few more questions. One is from EEMC Ankit Jain. How does SAP and AI collaborate? Another question is from Smita. How future applications of analytics, implementation of machine learning, computerized business intelligence would be more developing platform for new job seekers in this field? From Preeti, what is the accuracy of ML providing solutions? So I suggest Srinivasji and Vijay sir and Rajiv and Yogendra ji, you can put some light on these questions, and then it's already
Time is already moving, and it's
3 minutes each,
uh,
and then we'll wind up.
so please bear with us, and because of so many queries are coming, and so please and give the some inputs and, as the question that has been decided by Rajesh ji.
I have given some inputs,
Yeah,
but I see as my experience with SAP so many years,
yeah,
Rajesh ji, jo SAP is so far as a business around 60% might be covered. So students should have a biggest opportunity other than FICO SDMM. So they focus more on machine related data of SAP. Asset management, plant maintenance, shutdown, production planning, supply chain. These are emerging areas. Second thing, you pandemic, what is changed the last mile? My friends agreed that the earlier what we packing was doing for a food product is changed. We have to be more systematic and the properly packing to before delivery to customer. Last mile in retail drastically changed. Servicing to the customer, DMart or a big company in India, they all started accepting the web portal or mobile based order, and the packing is totally different. Earlier customer was going to the store, now company is packing and giving delivery to your last mile. So lot of changes happen in this area. Packaging, last mile packaging. last mile payment. We never thought ki Roger Pay or the Agri Pay or the other payment is a possibility. Yesterday, ICICI has given a big advertisement. You can get the payment by just contact number. So the student should believe that digital is the way. Never to be afraid. Question is the each small process also going in a multiplication. Then the location based data is very important. Gender, purchasing power, family composition, distance from the rural town or the metropolitan. Distance data is very important for route planning, delivery planning. We never thought. And the warehousing is going to be a very important than the mother warehouse. Maybe a pocket of warehouse is going to be a construct into the next emerging India. And another important thing, never bother where you are. Bother about your quality of service and the speed and the accuracy. It may be a metro going to be decomposed, surrounding metro like Mumbai, then the Panvel, New Mumbai is going to emerge. Delhi, Noida and the surrounding will emerge. Same thing, Kolkata surrounding will be emerge. So every city surrounding is going to be another supply hubs instead of the centers. So friends, there is no problem of your jobs. Friends, there is no problem of understanding. Only understand the last mile. So there lot of data analytics is required, multiple permutation and combination. In a pandemic, the food habits of almost all families change. People gone for a more organic and natural food than the so-called a preservative foods. So students learn from the what your surrounding. That is what I my submission. And as I say, the what so far world has computerized and non-facts, non-data. There is another world inside the organization. So far there is no computerization. So if you enter some company, there are so many things is not computerized. So please enter in that area where the company already have a systems and you have to do it. There are so many SAP modules not exposed by so many companies. They have invested in the license, they invested in the investment in hardware, they investment into IT, but they are not exposed. So find out the area of unexposed area of the company where the investment is very less. So the company get immediate benefit of the investment they have done. Another area, the data which is important for company like order, supply chain, transporter, which is outside the world of company, bring those data inside the company and integrate SAP. And third is the bring the collaborator. I think friend Rajiv and somebody said that the you need a collaboration data, competitors data, and to find out the right pricing. So your competitor is selling at X rate and your company is X.12. Then how you talk to your management with AI from the competitors from the market data and give back to the company. So world is emerging in a very progressive. So don't worry. There are so many plenty work of pendings area. Technology is just a connector, but your business knowledge that will be going to be successful to you. So any students, Rajesh ji, Manoj ji, or किसी को or any manager, any problem, please contact me. I don't want to charge anything. I want to be honest to make Atmanirbhar, and this is my open offer. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vijayji, and you always come forward to extend the support to Victoria University, and with a long association. And similarly, and also, and have my sincere request to Srinivasa and Rajiv ji, Yogender ji, and to extend the support to the student in terms of grooming them as a true professionals and all that, right, sir?
Manoj,
And
I will be very happy to share my
yeah,
views and my guidelines
yeah.
to the students, to dear students, to grow in the professional career. And also, one more thing I want to add, that why students are thinking only for job. They have to thinking out of the box for innovation things, so they can generate new jobs opportunities, and also they can be a owner of the company. So they have to think about that. Not only for job. Job is the primary thing, but they have to think out of the box.
Good, good. Thanks, Yogendra ji, and it's very, very motivating, no doubt. Uh, but there are certain challenges, and when the students
So
are
for
there,
these
naturally,
challenges, Manojji, we
yeah.
all the industrialists
uh,
and the CIO friends
uh,
are available for their suggestions and guidelines.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thanks.
I think that we are time is running very fast. We are already in 40 50 minutes, and we become late. So Rajesh ji, and should we conclude?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes. And
Uh, so
yes, please
I
carry on.
would like to request Rajesh ji to extend the vote of thanks. Yeah.
Okay, Manojji, thank you very much. Thank you for organizing such a wonderful event. And thanks to all the industry leaders, Srinivasji, Vijayji, Rajiv ji, and Yogendraji. We we disturbed you on Saturday, so excuse us. And we disturbed Andrew and Luciano. Australia is a 5-day country. India is a developing country. We worked 24 into 7 days.
No
So,
problem at all.
thanks, Luciano and Andrew, for being with us Saturday. And thanks to all the attendees, all the people who are watching us on Facebook, who are watching us on YouTube, and who are attending this session over Zoom. Thank you very much. And I would like to thank everyone who is working behind the scene: Aditya, Bhumi, Akshar Bhai, Kumar, and the whole team of ECA who has organized this event, all the graphic designers, social media, and everyone, all the people. Thank you very much. And I'd like to request all the industry people, when things get normal, you are welcome to our campus. And I'd like you to interact with our.
Rajeshji,
Thank
next
you.
meeting was open than we have in Australia.
Yeah. So thank you, Rajesh ji, and for your nice vote of thanks. It is a formal way, uh, and really we are indebted and for the time that has been spared by our industry colleagues. We could understand that you all are very senior executives, and having packed with a lot of work, engagement, and responsibility, but still you spared your valuable times. So again, we extend our sincere gratitude, and in behalf of ACA, Victoria University, and BUGNY Center of Excellence. And we'll look forward to have the same jail, same association and, with you, and so that we can build a strong industry academia relationship, and the personal and social relationship as well, no doubt. That is the most important, right? And because it is on the virtual mode, and else we would have the lunch altogether, right? But now it's not possible. Only we can feel, isn't it? So whenever the campus will open and all that, then surely and we would be invited, and it would be honor for us to have you on the campus on a dinner and lunch and dinner as well, right, sir? So I feel honored and, to being the host of this August gathering, and the outstanding webinar and topics, and that will be kept continue. And thank you very much. And my again sincere thanks to all my staff, lovely Bhumi, Aditya, and all the associating staff, as well as Rajaji has already extended the vote of thanks. So my colleagues from Australia, and Luciano is doing a wonderful job in Australia, and Andrew always come
Thank you all.
forward to extend the support, and So thank you very much. And Yogendra ji, and you are the very
Thank you so much.
youngest CIO. And surely we
Thank you
will
so
look
much.
forward to have your kind support. Thank you
Sure,
and all the best. Bye-bye.
definitely.
Thank
Bye.
you all.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
Thank
very
you
much.
all. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.